Welcome back, True Seeker. There was some really important news this week that I want to make sure we go over. As you can see, NPR, The Washington Post, The New York Times, and more covered this, so we know it's really important. Notice how all of those publications emphasize Lion King. Lion King emphasized puppet technician arrested after allegedly printing 3D gun at theater. Let's take a look at this story. So here's how NPR reported it. A puppet technician with the Broadway production of The Lion King was using a 3D printer to print a gun at the theater, police say. Officers were called to Manhattan's Minskoff Theatre on Friday, where they say they found 47-year-old puppet technician Ilya Vet in the process of printing a handgun. New York City police officer James Taylor says that when he arrived at a production and prop room for the musical, he saw a 3D printer producing a hard black plastic object shaped like a revolver, and that the object has a hand grip and a pointed snub-nosed nozzle, and an empty space where it is customary for a cylinder holding live rounds of ammunition to be placed. So, for the record, if you make a gun with a 3D printer, when it's done being designed in the 3D printer, it's not ready to shoot. You have to buy other factory parts and put it in there to give it the capacity to fire a round. So, the fact that anybody could be arrested for producing such a thing, and especially in a theater where, hey, maybe they're making props, How many theater productions have prop guns? Just understand, this whole story is contrived crap, put out by the code, reported to people who don't even read the news, just look at the headlines. This is the water cooler talk. Hey, you hear the police arrested a guy at the Lion King production at the theater in New York? Anyway, as we go through this, remember that the date of this news from all of these outlets was September 24, 2018. That was Monday. The news was from Friday. But let's go through this piece by piece. Let's start with the officer's name, in light of the fact that nearly all police officers are in Freemasonry, and a lot of them are born into police and Freemasonry, and a lot of their ancestors are familiar with this code of letters and numbers and have named their children accordingly. James Taylor, in our two most simple ciphers, the alphabetic order and the alphabetic order flipped around, sums to 139 and 158, just like Freemasonry. Perfect. They said that the person arrested was 47-year-old puppet technician Ilya Vet. And doesn't that name sound believable? Right up there with Snow Chia. Anyway, 47. It's why I started that campaign. What is 47? It's why I have a merchandise store with what is 47 gear. Hats, sweatshirts, mugs, pens. If we can get people to start going, what is 47? They're going to just start singing. Wait a minute. I just saw this thing. I saw this sweatshirt that said, what is 47? Now I'm reading the news, and it's a 47-year-old. It's 47 of this. It's 47 of that. Because this new number is put in the news every single day in a number of ways. But anyway, 47. It gets its significance from the Freemasons. Their compass is set at 47 degrees as a tribute to the 47th problem of Euclid about how to establish foundation. Of course, in Gematria, foundation equals 47. Like why this Masonic nation, the United States of America, its foundation is the 4th day of the 7th month. Abraham Lincoln, 7 years ago. Why didn't he just say 87? Because it's 47. So 47 is a big government number. It's a big authority number. And with regards to the police, cop equals 47, policeman 47. You got to ask questions like, where does the name cop come from anyway? It doesn't sound like police. Where'd they get it from? This is where they got it from, Gematria. Government equals 47, authority 47, obey 47. So how about this 47-year-old Ilya Vet? Well, a lot of things jump out, including the fact that Ilya equals 47. The story, supposedly the arrest was Friday, September 21st. 9 plus 21 plus 18, 48. Notice Ilya Vet equals 48. The name James with the alphabetic order is 48. The police officer was James Taylor. Notice the 33 as well. Police equals 33, masonry 33, secrecy 33, order 33, federal 33. The ongoing propaganda throughout the nation is federal propaganda every single day to control the minds of the masses. So many of you ask, why do they do this? And isn't it apparent why? This is all mind control. Media is mind control. You know, they want you in a certain state of being, a certain mental state of being. You know, afraid, intimidated, thinking you need Big Brother to save you. You know, you need to give up your rights. You need less liberties. You need to pay more taxes so you can afford more police and security and surveillance. This is what they do it for, to control you. And, you know, they could absolutely create this propaganda without encoding numbers. But why do they do this part? Why do they go to the extra length to make up names and report the same numbers? Because they are ritualistic. They are Freemasons. They operate by old world beliefs and knowledge. And these old world beliefs are still with us, but they come from the old world. You know, they go back to Babylon. Kabbalah goes back to Babylon. The belief in Kabbalah is God created the world by merging the letter with the number. So you can look at it one of two ways. Either they're paying tribute to God by creating all of this propaganda and intimidation. They think God wants the masses to be intimidated. Or you can look at it as, oh, they're playing God, which to me is the way I interpret it. So the one thing that's undeniable is that they're doing it. Snochia, let that be the latest undeniable example. The Rite Aid shooting and the Scottish Rite ritual. But let's come back up to the emphasized Lion King. Why did they do that? You know, how many times are you talking to people about media and they say, well, that's why I like NPR, as if NPR's legitimate. Give me a break. Anyway, why did they emphasize Lion King? Well, what's this propaganda alluding to? Oh, we might have had this crazy master puppeteer technician who was going to become what's his name? I can't even think of it now. The guy with the orange hair who shot up the Aurora Theater. You see how all of this propaganda plays on, you know, past news stories? If you haven't read my book, I showed how the Aurora Theater shooting was synced up with the Sandy Hook school shooting, both in 2012, 147 days apart. Big Freemason conspiracy policeman number. But in the Batman movie, which got shot up in Aurora, they put out a map. There's always been a map of Gotham City. And what was interesting about that Batman movie that got shot up is for the first time this neighborhood in Gotham, its name had always been South Hinckley. Always. Through all the decades of Batman, it was always South Hinckley, this section of the Gotham map. For that movie, they changed that neighborhood name to Sandy Hook. Then right after that, there was a lot of shootings in the news about teachers who would dress up as Batman for their students on Halloween. And, you know, we had a little boy shot whose favorite costume outfit was Batman, and wasn't he buried in his Batman outfit? Anyway, these stories are all from years ago, but I still remember them because I wrote a book about it. Anyhow, Lion King shooting. Look at the Gematria. Do you see the overlap? 46, 46, 44, 44? For the record, Shooter has that Gematria 44 and 46 too. He could have been a shooter at the Lion King Theater production. So notice the theater that this happened at, the Minskoff Theatre. The Gematria of 71 pops in a big way because the date of this news, September 24th, 18, 9 plus 24 plus 20 plus 18, 71. And out of our 4 base ciphers, this is the most important one. Minskoff also has Gematria of 93 like propaganda, 39 like masonry, 42 like Freemason, 123 like conspiracy. The news is Masonic theater, so it's right to do this stuff in theaters. And I wish my main channel had not been deleted, because one of the most important videos I had up, and a story that I can no longer find, it seems to have been scrubbed from the web. But in a video, I used to just have a video where I actually played the CNN news footage. If you can remember, I think it was 2 years ago now, it might have been 3 years ago, there were a bunch of shootings in Colorado around the time of the holidays. Black Friday shooting, There were several, though, in a close window. There was a shooter also in Colorado at a Planned Parenthood. It was around that time when all those shootings happened. CNN put out this story of how police do active shooter drills in public places to create a more realistic scenario, and they name the places that they do it at: malls, theaters, schools. They said those are good environments because there's lots of people, and by having the drill in a situation where people don't realize it's a drill, it adds to the realism. It helps them prepare better. And just think about it. They're putting this and this news story was coming out at the same time that all these shootings were happening in Colorado, and the story was out of Colorado. It was like just putting the truth in front of everyone's face. But this is what they're doing. They're performing real drills in real time in places where people don't realize a drill's about to happen. And if you watch the news story, they talk about how they use not live rounds, but rounds that create the like in the movie, the blanks. So it looks real. They said they even get these crisis actors out there, and they use artificial blood and everything to create this realistic scenario. CNN also ran another story. This was back in 2013 or 14 about amputee actors, and you can still find this story. I think this story came out right around the time of the Boston Marathon bombing. But they were showing how they get these people that have largely been in service and have lost limbs, and then the government pays them to be in these shooting drills with simulated gunfire and explosions, and then they get these people out there that have already lost their limbs to make it look more realistic, like they just got their limbs blown off, and now they have the EMTs come and treat them, and the police secure the scene. The news in recent years, as these shootings have escalated, have put out stories like this that are truly a way to mock us, showing the truth of what's going on, that these are actually drills being reported as tragedies. And anyhow, this story plays on that theme. A police officer walks into the Lion King Theater and says, "Oh my God, 47-year-old Ilya Vet's making a 3D printed gun over there." And you know what? Let's come back to this real quick. What was the name of the man who put out the prints for this 3D gun? I can't think of his name right now. Let's do a web search. He just got the the charges against him for having sex with a minor 33 weeks after his birthday. 3D gun maker, sex, 16-year-old. Let's see if that pulls it up. I need this guy's name right now because I have to make a point. There it is. Cody Wilson. Cody Wilson, right? So again, James Taylor has the Gematria of 139. Let's see what Gematria Cody Wilson has. And keep in mind, this story came just days after the Cody Wilson news, right? Just days after the Cody Wilson news. Cody Wilson. What's his name equal? Oh, 139. Same cipher. What's gun control equal? Oh, 139. Isn't that nice? The Agenda in America, 139. Have you seen this show Westworld about a society or artificial society, and the people within that society don't realize that they've been made for somebody else's purpose? They're being controlled and used for somebody else's agenda. Have you seen that one? I can't even say this one out loud, but if you can read the screen, this is what the United States of America is. This is it. Did you notice British is 104 too? Like Westworld is 104? Like Jerusalem, which was once controlled by Britain, is 104 and also 139? 7, 4, 17, 76. 7 plus 4 plus 17 plus 76, 104. Think about what they did to this land we live in. They came here and they created a genocide of the people who lived here. People who lived mostly at peace for tens of thousands of years, didn't destroy the environment, didn't destroy each other. They said the greatest democracy in the history of the world was among the Native American people who lived here. But anyway, they came over here, they purposely killed these people. Warfare, genocide, Chemical warfare. They spread smallpox intentionally, gave these people blankets that were infused with disease and illness. Why go through all that trouble? Why? I mean, they already had all this territory all over the world. Why'd they come over here and do it more? Because don't you see, it's a big agenda. It's a new world order. Getting more and more people under their control, more and more people slaving and devoting their energy to their cause. And I can't tell you exactly what their end game is. I have all sorts of questions myself, but I can see what they're doing. I can see it. 104, 10-4 message received. I hope I'm getting through to you. Lion King, puppet technician. I mean, just how stupid is this news story? And for those of you who also don't get it, after 9/11, I really started to pay attention to news because I knew I was just lied to that day. See, all of my life up to 9/11, I'd try to avoid the news because I just realized the news was stupid even when I was younger. And I realized when I was younger I didn't like watching the news because normally I was having a pretty good day, and then I'd be in a room where the news was on, and I'd be hearing these things in the news, and I'd think, oh my God, I already just feel 1,000 times worse. Just all this negativity, death, killing, disease, fear. I was like, I'm going to go somewhere else where I was just having a good time. This room with this TV going is really a buzzkill. And anyway, after 9/11, I was just like, okay, I mean, seriously, what's going on? And I just started to notice, after 9/11, all of a sudden we got the color scale. Remember, we got the color scale. Some days were yellow days, some days were orange days, some days were red days, full alert. But it would be like one day, the news would be like, today is an orange alert, and, another person just got anthrax in their mailbox. So it's like, oh, okay, today it's orange alert day, look out for the anthrax in my mailbox. And, then the next day it's the same thing. And then all of a sudden the third day, it's like all that news just is not even a big deal anymore. Today what we're looking for is the missing blonde girl. It's like, whoa, I thought there were 10 terrorists to look for, anthrax in my mailbox, orange alert. Now today we're just looking for the missing blonde girl. That's all they're talking about in the news. It's like, what about all that fear from the last 48 hours? And then the next day it's like that story's gone, and now everyone's got salmonella in their broccoli. It's like, it's just some new crap every single day. Don't people see what this is? And, eventually I figured out how they were just contriving all their crap using these rules. Numerology, Gematria. Yeah, it's propaganda too. But once I figured this out, I said, okay, everybody needs to know this. This is definitive evidence of what the news is. A bunch of contrived crap to make you feel terrible. To make you scream out for James Taylor, come save me. Come save me, boys in blue. You know what I mean? So, you know what? We're going to do something nice today. Give you a little personal insight. My girlfriend asked if I would take her out to lunch, so we're going to go get some lunch today. Enjoy the videos. If you haven't picked up the book already, you got to do that. You got to do that. Pick this book up. Everybody needs to know the code. All right, Truth Seeker. Until next time.